Radio with Versus. From the main stage to the underground, it's always a party.
Yo, what is up, party starters? This is Versus, and we are reporting live from South Beach. If you guys can hear my voice, Miami Music Week definitely did me dirty this year, as we had an insane week at Mango's. We had 7 events in 4 days. It's insane how many people came through. I'm just so overwhelmed with the response to Party Starter Radio, to all of the events, to this podcast. We have an insane season lined up for you guys with a whole bunch of episodes, a whole bunch of big guests that we got to sit down for in Miami. Honestly, some of my favorite podcast episodes that we filmed so far. We've talked about everything from music to festivals to doing shoeies with Odd Mob. And we also have our first party starter who is not a DJ or a producer, Adriano Moraz, who is an 8-time flyweight world champion. And I'm so excited to share with you guys this new chapter for Party Starter Radio and everything that we've got involved. We've been running around nonstop since we've got here. We've slept way less, which is why my voice has been absolutely shot. But it has just been completely overwhelming and just so humbling, the response and everybody's reaction. All of you guys that came out and partied with us, it was absolutely insane. All of our artists, all of our headliners, everybody that showed love, everybody that supported it, bought a ticket, RSVP'd, anything. Like, we can't even begin to tell you how much it means for us. Like, we started this whole podcast concept just for something for fun in this beautiful city of Miami. 2 years later, after we started this podcast, to be doing 7 events in 4 days, to have some of the headliners like we had Wade literally finish his set at Ultra, get dropped off for our official after party here at Mango's. It's just insane, you know, how many talented artists, how many names we got to see connect, put in the same room, play on the same lineups that I haven't even seen before. You know, we really took our time to curate it, make sure we had the best lineups possible. It's been super humbling. This is literally just the beginning for Party Starter Radio, and especially for Party Starter Radio events. So if you guys have a city you guys want to see us come to, let us know. We are going to be planning stuff nonstop now moving forward and bringing Party Starter and the Party Starter brand to the next level. But we just want to give you guys all a huge shout out who have been showing us love and support since the day we started. It's been insane to see just the natural response, and you know, as we're going on these trips in Amsterdam, Miami, and traveling around the world, how this thing that we've created really just for fun has spread and has now grown into something way beyond even our expectations at this point. So that's all because of you guys. We appreciate the love and support. We have a whole bunch of great episodes lined up for you this season. We're also on Spotify now. If you guys are on social media, any of our social medias at Party Starter Radio, so definitely go check that out. Party Starter Radio is going to be absolutely everywhere. Thank you guys for all the love and support. Again, this is just the start. Let's get into the episode. Yo, what's up everybody? This is Versus, and welcome to another episode of Party Starter Radio. We're reporting live here from Mango's in South Beach, Miami, and we got Bijou's D&D Records party going on right now, and we've got 2 very special guests who are absolutely crushing it. They just crushed it in the main room and had a killer set. We got the Zella girls. What's up, girls?
Thank you for having us. We're so excited to be here.
Of course. I'm so excited to have you girls on the podcast. We've been hearing nothing but amazing stuff, not only from your music, but on the behind the scenes too. I know you guys have been super busy. Why don't you give us a little rundown of what's been going on lately?
Well, it's our second day in Miami. Super excited to be here. We both live in LA, so this is her first time in Miami.
My first time in Miami, and I'm already in love. I'm
Yes.
already in love with it. Like the weather, the people, like it's just the experience has been amazing.
I'm
It's only
from
been
Philly
day
too,
two.
so I love the humidity. I missed it. The dry
Oh my
heat in
God.
California is killer.
I know, it really is.
Feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but we're really excited. Right now, our song "Why Should I" is doing really well on the dance charts, and this week, I think when this comes out, we can say, but right now
Yeah.
we're sitting live at #1, so we're hoping to announce Sunday our
Let's go.
number
Right
one.
now.
That's sick.
It's our first ever #1, so we're
Yeah.
really excited.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Fuck yes.
Thank
We can curse on here.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And we're sitting #5 right now on the Billboard charts too.
Yeah.
So we're like so excited. This has been like a
Yeah,
crazy
this
past couple weeks.
That is amazing.
Been an unreal
Yeah.
experience. It's our favorite song we've actually released so far. It's the most closest to,
Our
sound,
sound. Yeah.
like sonically who we are, and it just means a lot that it was Why Should I?
It was
that-
2 years in the
yeah.
making too. We made that song almost 2 years ago, and now we're finally here, so we're really
Yeah.
excited. It's always meant a lot to us.
Shout out Tile Yard, Steve
Steve
Minoski,
Minoski.
London.
Let's
That's where
go.
the home of that song was.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so awesome. And how did that kind of come together? Did you guys have a certain idea? Did you have something that you wanted to write about with it?
Well, I mean, the chorus is the Snake Charmer melody, so we really wanted to do like Kesha's done it. That it's a public domain
Yes.
Yeah.
melody, so we were like, okay, this would be like a killer house song.
Yeah.
And then we were in the UK doing a writing trip about 2 years ago, and that was our favorite session that we did
Sick.
there, and it was like one of our last days on the trip, so it came about awesome.
It was
Very
just
organically.
natural. Before we were Zella, we were a writing duo.
Yeah.
So we used to write a lot of music, and we were just in the game already, just crafting and creating all the time. I think when we made that, it was something that we both knew, like, this is different. Like,
Yeah.
this is special.
Also,
Yeah.
that day we made another song that we played today called Rio.
Yeah.
And it's just funny because like sometimes I feel like when you do two songs in one session, you kind of like one's better than the other. But I will say both are so different and two of our favorite
Yeah.
songs. So that session was like inspiration killer. Like it just felt like magic in the room that day.
It was definitely a part of one of the things that were like, what's our sound? What's
Yeah.
our vibe? That session was just so good. And yeah, that
It was
vibe.
our first time with
yeah.
Steve, and we were like, okay. Steve Minoski, not
Yes.
Steve LaBelle.
Yeah.
But we were so excited because we were like, okay, we found someone that we artistically like match with so well. So we're hoping to go
Yeah.
back and do a trip with him in the fall.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Before ADE. Yeah.
And like for me, like I know the most times that I get inspired is kind of when I actually sit down without an idea and it's like I let inspiration find me or a sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's like kind of your process? Like in that session, was there something that happened or a moment where you're like, ooh, we've really got something cool here?
It's different every time.
It's
I'd
different
say.
every time. I feel like our process is typically like we have like a notes thing of concepts. It's kind of the Nashville way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where we'll like just organically like every day in our everyday life have concepts or lyrics that stick out to us that we write down.
Yeah.
But we always start with melodies before lyrics. So we'll look
Yes.
at some concepts
Yeah.
and like freestyle some melodies and then build around those melodies
Yeah.
what we want and what feels right. Because we can ditch a concept if
Yeah.
something else feels like comes naturally to us.
We
yeah.
always have like these ideas, and like she said, we have like a notes with all these like random like maybe let's call them like taglines or ideas or feelings, and we always do a session based off of what we were feeling like
That
making.
day. It could
That's-
change, yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's just truly what it is. Like the funniest thing is like Why Should I Dance and like Rio, like those are two very fun, happy songs.
Yes.
You could tell like that day we were pumped.
Yeah.
I mean, like we
You
were
feel
just
the energy
pumped
in the
that
records
day.
right
Yeah.
away.
And he was just amazing. Like I said, it was our first time meeting him, but we were
Yeah.
definitely inspired.
Yeah. And then, I mean, just to go back off of that too, like you said, you know, you try and make the records feel real,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
what the energy is. On the flip side, like, has it been a little bit nerve-wracking when you try and be a little bit more open and vulnerable with maybe some of the topics or your lyrics ever?
No,
Not
I would say
really.
'cause
No.
being writers first and like doing like we do all genres. Like
Sick.
I
Yeah.
come from more like a country pop background, musical theater, and she comes from more like R&B, rock
What a
and
cool
roll.
combination then.
Yeah.
It's just going to bring extra flavor and
Well, that's
Yeah, that's
Persian,
the
and I'm
point.
Brazilian, so
Sick.
we kind of like explore our cultures as well.
Yeah.
So with that
Yeah.
being said, I feel like we write our best music is ballads. So like with
Yeah.
that being said, I feel like there's a vulnerability to ballads, and starting with that, dance music's a bit easier for us because we've already explored like the farthest
Yeah.
vulnerability in ballads. So we're like really open, and we love to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time we flip our ballads. So
Sick.
like the one on like there's a few, I'm not gonna say them yet, but there's a few songs we're thinking about releasing soon, and a lot of them started out as ballads, and we have like acoustic
Yeah.
versions for all of them
That's so
because
cool.
that's kind of where our ideas started. But
We love doing that,
Be-
yeah. 'Cause
yeah.
it feels like conceptually and lyrically, it's also like a bit more real. Sometimes with dance
Exactly.
music, I feel like sometimes the storytelling and the narrative gets lost.
too digital.
Yeah.
But when we start
Yeah.
with a ballad and you just write a good song and don't rely on the production, we
the
have
most
like a
important.
real song there, the
story.
fundamental
Yeah.
part of like a real song.
Yeah.
yeah, even if it's a fun, just like Why Should I Dance concept, but it's like the idea behind it. It's
Exactly.
the feeling you get from it. It's your
Yeah.
friends and you like being in that room. Like
Yeah.
it's what it means to you and what your body responds to.
Yeah.
So like I think for us, especially like I started writing poetry when I was like
Yeah, same.
5.
Yes.
Like we were kids.
I
when
think
we were-
English was both of our favorite subjects.
That's
so,
crazy.
Yeah.
And how long have you girls known each other?
since we were 18.
18, yeah.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
we were
been-
just best friends first.
Yeah, now we're
for
24,
years.
so it's definitely been.
Yeah.
been
And
some
working
time.
together the whole time?
No.
No.
Oh wow.
Absolutely not.
Not
Wow.
until like 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Damn.
And we
that's so
lived
crazy.
together. We were best friends doing our own thing.
Yeah.
And then like the universe was like, this needs to happen.
You girls need to be
Yeah, and
working
she was always
together.
doing her thing. I was doing my thing, and then one thing led to another. We started working together, and we were just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like,
We got something here.
Yeah.
yeah, we had
Yeah.
other people be like, you two were like, I know. Like, it just kind of became a thing where it's
Yeah.
me and her, and
Yeah.
it just grew.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
And beforehand, is there any like writing sessions or any records that you girls were involved in that like you feel like before you started working on dance music and your own music was almost like, I don't know, a confidence booster or like, hey, wow, like I'm pretty damn good here?
Well, I would say like I said, we're very different.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
like, I don't mean in like a weird way, but like I know I'm not the A writer in like an R&B room, and
Okay.
she knows that she's probably not the A writer in a country room. So me like feeling more confident being able to go in those R&B rooms because of her, and vice versa.
Yeah.
It was like really cool because sometimes I would be like, all right, like when I would get asked to do an R&B session, like I just know myself and I know my strengths, and like I was the B, C, right? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
not, and being able
Yeah.
to go in those rooms and like play off of her strengths and vice versa.
Yeah.
I feel like it opened a lot of doors for us,
Yeah.
and I got to tap into parts of my artistry that I never had before. Because
And vice
of that.
versa. Yeah, vice versa. I think the cool thing is, and this is something that I realized bringing her, like doing R&B with her, just as an example, like
Yeah.
it's me with country, I think just the same. Even
The
though
writing
that she
process
may
is
she
different.
may not be like she said like the A writer, but bringing what she knows to the table, it changes the flow and makes
Exactly.
something that's untapped.
Yeah.
So like that's the beauty of working with multiple backgrounds, multiple genres, like multiple ideas. Her coming in with her idea in pop or country
Yeah.
will change the flow of the song, and vice versa with me and my R&B will change the flow with something country. Like
Yeah.
it'll change in a really cool way that we noticed.
Yeah. I think with you out even trying, you girls have literally just given 5 minutes of some of the best writing advice to any artist.
Oh, that makes me so
honestly,
happy.
Like, yeah.
We always like to like we take pride in being writers, like
Yeah.
not just DJ artists. Like
Yeah.
we write, we vocal produce, we sing. So like that's something that's so important to us because
Yeah.
before we were DJs, we were
Yeah.
artists, and before we were artists, we were writers. So we take pride in our craft because we've spent so much time working on it our entire life. Yeah.
And I have to say too, like how humble and like I don't want to say accountable, but like you said, you're like, hey, I know in that room I'm not an A, but to go in another room, go, I am an A. It's
That's why I was like, I don't want
it's-
to say this in a weird way.
No, but it's like
No,
almost
it's
a strength
true.
where like myself, I tell them all the time, like, hold me accountable. Like I
Yeah.
have no problem looking myself in the mirror and going, Vin, you're not the best at that, but you are great at this.
Yeah.
And the fact
But
that
that's
you
a
both
winning
compliment-
quality.
Exactly.
I
And a
agree,
lot
yeah,
of
I agree.
producers and like artists, I feel like just almost ignore it and are like, well, I want to do this. And like, I remember years ago when I started making trial, before I even was releasing music, my buddy was like, bro, stop making big room. Like, you're good at this shit.
Yeah.
Like, it naturally flows.
Yeah.
And for so long, I was just so set on being the next Martin Garrix that
Yep.
I just kept making
Yeah.
shitty big room for a couple of years. But it was really nice once the transformation happened. And even now, it's like, I don't even need to think going into the session, and that creativity, that one thing sparks it, and then the whole idea goes. But it's
I
all
think-
about that initial like
Yeah.
idea being really solid, even if, like you said, it's just one little line or one little
Yeah.
melody or something.
I think the only way to grow as a person in general is to put yourself in situations where you feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
I think that's the only way you'll know that you're going to reach your fullest potential, that you'll really find yourself. And I
Yeah.
think especially in writing, me being so uncomfortable knowing I'm going to my first country session, I didn't know what I was
Yeah.
doing, having her and learning the process.
Likewise.
It educated me so much more as
That's
a
so
person
awesome.
to just
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
Even in R&B, when I was working with bigger people in R&B, I was just sitting there like listening and
Yeah.
vibing and just feeling what they're doing,
Yeah.
learning their technique. If you humble yourself and you just put yourself out there and take all that information you're being given,
Yes.
it'll change who
Yeah.
you are and how you
exactly.
work.
Yeah.
I think the commitment to like me and Kiana, like when we did the Chainsmokers show right after we got our tattoos, and
Yeah.
the thing like I've always
so
lived
sick.
by, and we're very like we don't like we see everything through. So I
Yeah.
think like we're not very like start stop. Like that's just like not a motto. And like maybe being from the East Coast, you can resonate. Like I'm not gonna do something
Yeah.
half-assed if I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna freaking do it. And I've always
100%.
lived that way.
Yeah.
So I think with this project,
I miss
like
the East Coast energy.
I need a little. That's why I'm like
Yes.
I love the community. I love the East Coast.
I'm like, do I give off West Coast? I'm like,
No,
yeah.
I rubbed off
I'm like,
on
what's
her.
good?
Yeah, I
yeah, I
rubbed
was
off
gonna
on
say
her.
you both
Yeah.
can pass.
No,
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 problem.
No, but I think the commitment of like you said, rather than like I know I'm not, and she knows like we know we're all like our strengths and weaknesses, and then like living to our strengths and like learning from our weaknesses. I think that's important rather than just saying you're good at everything. No one's, you know what I'm saying? Like you can
Yeah.
learn and like be decent at like a lot of different things, but like be good at what you're good at, and just
sure.
like that's what
No, I think the industry has no room for ego.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's always what I've
As soon as you remove the ego, you can
like
be as
honor your
successful as
craft
possible.
too, and like just keep working at it. That was something for us too. During quarantine, we didn't really go like the TikTok route in terms of like just trying to, and that's cool that people that did, they built such a platform, and sometimes we were jealous of that, but I'm proud of us for really owning our craft. And then we came out of that the best version of writers we could have been, and we felt like prepared going into those sessions after quarantine.
We took so much time to build up how we wanted to sound, all of our crafts, our skills. Like, we put a lot of time and effort into making ourselves feel like we're ready for it, instead of feeling like we're behind and we're like pushing too hard or doing something where we're uncomfortable, but like, no, it's not right for us.
That's the same thing we learned to DJ too. Very similar story. Because we got thrown into it.
Like that, honestly, I think that was my biggest mistake early, was like just having the goals and not realizing this is a process. You're starting off not knowing even how to use Ableton. So like, forget about the labels, just make music, figure shit out. And for so long I was just, again, stuck in the kind of that loop. As soon as, when I moved to LA, one of my old roommates does a whole bunch of productions and writing and stuff as well. And he was the one that taught me like, okay, you got to detach, like remove yourself, remove the ego. If you find something, like you girl said, you know, when you heard Why Should I, you're like, okay, this one might have to stay in our pocket.
We knew it.
You know, like this is on our thumb drive for today. We'll write a couple more and get the numbers done. But like, I always looked up to him because he had no attachment, and he would be with some of the biggest people. I'm like, bro, do you realize what you just did? And he's like, yeah, we wrote 5 and I put them on the Dropbox and they're going to pick. And it's like, all right, well, that's fucking awesome. But then like, he's just moving. The next day, another session, or that night, another session. But it's all about the quality. And I
would say it is quality. It's not. But one thing I will say that's like very important, that we always, good music wins, and good music has longevity. So in terms of like, I'll be honest, like even like with this like radio song, like we knew the song was good music. We're not like popping on TikTok. Like hopefully one day we will be, but like, I think what stuck out about Why Should I, it's good music, and it feels timeless to us. And I hate to like say that, but like, I don't mean to say it in like a weird, like
I
arrogant
agree.
way, but it's like when we heard it out of all our other songs, we looked at it from like a third perspective, and we're like, okay, I think people will be able to hear our like actual writing capabilities in this.
We didn't
dance music, sometimes it's hard. It's a lot of like speaky stuff that sometimes we're like, okay, we want people to also take us seriously because we're vocalists. And it's fun to do the fun music sometimes too. We love making tech house as well for features and stuff. But this felt very showing of our capabilities and like something that we just love to listen to.
We didn't know that it would be going to number 1. Obviously, we didn't know that, but we knew it was different. We could tell that it stood kind of on its own and that it was going to be something different. So I think that's the biggest rule of thumb that is in my head from now on. If you have a good song, you're good.
Exactly.
You have to work for it, but if you have a good song, that's
what will take
back
you there.
that up.
100%.
You know what I mean? That's the game changer here. It won't last a minute, it'll last a lifetime.
Exactly. Yo, what's up, party starters? Got to give a huge shout out to our sponsors for this episode, Groove Cruise. They also help sponsor and push all of our Miami Music Week events at Mango's. So a huge shout out to the Groove Cruise team. If you guys haven't made your reservations for Groove Cruise 2025, this is one year you guys do not want to miss. The Party Starter Radio crew is going to be out there, and we've got something very special for you guys. Head over to the Groove Cruise website, enter code PARTYSTARTER, and you'll get $50 off your reservation for Groove Cruise 2025. We'll see you guys on the seas, and let's keep the party going. And I feel like even for like breaking out, like, you know, it's easy to say, oh wow, look at what's happened with them. That's so quick. It's not. Like, you girls just explain your track record. But now look at the difference because you put out a record instead of a track. One of my buddies, Charles D, used to tell me that all the time. He's like, Vinny, you got a lot of tracks. We need records. We need some stuff that is going to really, like you said,
breathe, have life to it.
And I think the timelessness thing is like the ultimate goal. So it's not in a weird way. It's like, you want to, like, if you're really into music, you want to have your music in 30 years, whether young generations like it or not, other people are still listening.
The song's 2 years old and it doesn't feel stale to us.
Yeah,
I think it's because it was cool because it was made in the UK and a lot of stuff like starts there and comes over here. But it still feels fresh to us, which is really exciting because 2 years, that stands the test of time. So that's
I think it's just like, music is not math. You're not gonna, like, if you're a good writer, you still might not make always good songs. So it's like, I think the biggest thing to like also add to it is it takes time, it takes experience, and it takes hundreds of songs to know that you've got 5 records. That's it takes time.
And honestly, like you said too, just like having that own personal filter and not being afraid to go, okay, these other 95, we could do something else, but these are the 5.
You can't be like precious or arrogant about records. I think that's important because when you first start, you're like, oh my God, I love this one, and you hold on to it. But like just seeing like the journey of even our sound, like we've evolved so much and we have so much room to continue to evolve, and I'm really excited to see this next year when we go back into sessions and really focusing on our next few songs, because we do have our next few songs already planned, but the music after that, it's not there because we just know we have so much more room to build sonically. So we're excited to see what comes next.
Well, I'm sure you girls are going to get back in the studio, be super
April,
inspired.
May.
Oh yeah. April, May.
If you girls are in Vegas, ever need something, let us know for sure.
We would love to work.
Oh my God, let's do it. Let's do it.
We'll definitely have to do some stuff. And then I don't want to, spill the beans, but I've heard a whole bunch of rumors about a couple collabs.
Oh.
Anything that you guys can talk about or can't talk about or tease that coming up?
I'm like looking at our manager.
I'm like, I'm looking at her too.
It's all good.
Wait, let me.
If there was any fun, maybe sessions that you could say without the artist name.
Well, do you know who Leondis is? He's opening for Lenium. We have a song that might be coming out on Insomniac Records in the fall with him, which we did with Avedon, who also did our song "Give It Up," which we're really excited about.
Yeah. Sick.
MK.
So yeah.
I remember when I first went to Pasha at 21 years old. He was always in the booth, and I always remembered him because he had the MK tag.
Yes.
And he was just the chillest dude. It was like Martinez Bros would be there, Sonny and Ryan. And then when I first moved to LA, I saw him at a Repopulate party, and at that point, 17, everything came out.
So he's our publisher.
No, basically we're signed to him. He's our publisher, and we've known him for years. We have a song that we made with him a while back, and that's lined up to come out.
We have a few cool ones we've made recently, like with Nitty, with Disco Lines.
Let's go.
Been a lot of cool collabs. Like we'll see what is next to come out. We don't have
you know how the industry is. We change when the songs will come out all the time because we're all touring and doing different things. This world is so different than other sides of music, so we're all doing our own thing, but we definitely have some cool stuff coming soon.
I was gonna say lots of cool stuff. So I'm sure it's gonna be super busy, and when you get in the studio, you have nothing but inspiration.
Send it to you so you can get a first
I know.
Yes, I need to hear it for sure.
I think we're really, I know me and Jude right now, and I think we're both really excited to get back to making a lot more music.
Yes.
That's something Zella has grown a lot in the last few months especially, and with this #1 and all these amazing things and the music lined up, we're so excited for everything, even the collaborations. But I know me and Jude, and I know
we're
creatively,
in the studio.
We're happiest in the studio,
we're happiest
and we
I
can't
feel
wait
like
to
maybe
make more music.
I feel like
That's
we're
so
happiest
awesome.
on stage and the studio.
Yeah, both.
But we've not spent time locked in the studio. We were writers. We spent years locked in the studio, and I feel like this is the longest we've gone.
We would do double sessions every day for the whole week.
So crazy.
We were going at it. So obviously that's a little excessive. We can't do that now. But definitely I know we have that itch. We have concepts we're writing. We're itching. Got stories, man. We want to do it so bad.
So I feel like it's good when you take time to live because you have the stories to tell and the music feels fresh because there's a story to be told and you're not just getting redundant trying to make music just for the sake of making music. So we're excited.
Being in your 20s, you mature a lot.
Exactly.
And so our ideas, our concepts, our feelings, the way we articulate our feelings, everything's shifting and maturing and evolving. So I think I'm really interested to see what comes out.
Yeah. Me too. I can't wait. I know a whole bunch of success.
We're excited to check out your stuff too.
Yes,
definitely.
Gotta send you girls a whole bunch of stuff. And then before we wrap it up too, like you said, you've been super busy even when you guys were doing writing sessions. What's something either both of you do or that you do individually that kind of balances you out and lets you just take a moment for a second? Last night I was very fortunate. I have my best friends here. We've also got a great team. It was oh shit, tomorrow's the big day that everything's going at once.
Today's
I gotta be in 3
us.
places. And I literally sat there and was I'm so thankful my best friends are here because
that's exactly what
we live together, we work together, and we're very similar in the sense of just being honest. We're not when we're not working or going out to other friends' shows, we don't go out.
I'm the same
we
way.
like to exercise, we do things that are good for us. We have very common interests. That
and we just the thing is Jude is I have no siblings, but Jude is my sister to my heart, and her sister's my sister, and her mom's my mom. Our family's I love her so much. She's not only other half of Zella or my business partner, we're literally family to each other.
That's amazing.
We live together, we go to the gym together, we make our smoothies in the morning together, make food together, get our nails done together.
And it never feels because we have a good understanding of each other. There's boundaries. We have a very healthy friendship and relationship because people are always how the hell do you? This is gonna. Everyone's
you guys see each other 24/7.
We've been doing it for years. That everyone, when they see the dynamic, they're okay, we understand how this works, and we just we love each other and support each other.
She's she's my best friend, and to be honest, I feel we calm each other's minds down. At the end of the day, she goes in her room, I go in my room, but
we'll text and FaceTime from each other, and I'm not joking.
That's me and Joey.
I'm literally not kidding.
You see him laughing too because
he doesn't come in. She doesn't come in
the
the
same way. He'll be knocking on my wall as I'm producing. He's come on, come over here, come look at the visuals.
You can't
texting me
we can't
I'm
get
trying to bounce these out.
Yeah, but that comes with that. I will say conflict management and being able to communicate. We've gotten so good at that. I will say throughout our friendship, we've never had any big blowout fights, but when we have disagreements or want to hold each other accountable, we do that. We don't BS with each other. We tell each other straight up
from the
how
East Coast. I don't deal with it. I met her too, and I feel that's something she's always said. I really like about you, about me. She's always said I like how you're just open, blunt, and that's something I grew up around. So coming to LA, some people were offended by it, but the good thing about Kiana, she liked how it was held accountable, and it was just a good communication and articulate like my feelings and not to like be passive aggressive or things like
never.
that. Honestly, it's just a way of communication. You can be respectful with also like articulating your feelings.
I feel like the only reason you would ever put yourself in a place of conflict is because if you want to better me or better our relationship or like better the situation. Yeah. I'm saying when you mention things like that are like,
but I wouldn't even consider it conflict. It's
no, it's not even conflict. No, but I'm saying in your
I feel
head
the same
when
way.
you have those
And I tell him
conversations.
sometimes,
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to bust your chops. Like, listen, we got to get shit done. If I'm sitting here, like, you could yell at me, but like, there's sometimes we got to do stuff, and it's the same thing. Where like last week, I was like, dude, we're good. He's like, bro, we gotta fucking do this shit. Like, come on now. Like, I've asked you 20 times. Like, please just sit down. I'm not trying to be an asshole. Like,
no, I like that communication. That's literally what I grew up
around. It's the core of a relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
But people in LA, like, you don't live there, so I don't know if you understand. Like, it was hard for me when I first moved here. I was like, oh my god, everyone thinks I'm being an asshole, but I'm literally just being direct. I'm being assertive. I'm being respectful, and people are thinking I'm going to be an asshole.
I love it.
But at the same time, I'm like, maybe those people are not for me.
Exactly.
And that's okay. That's so true.
I don't deal with the like passive aggressiveness.
Especially if you're not being disrespectful.
No,
it's like,
it's never about being disrespectful.
Because I was born and raised in LA, but I'm Persian.
Yeah.
In my like culture, like we give it to you straight, we give it to you harsh. Like we're very loving, but like we don't BS. So like being around her, she has made me into a version of myself that I'm so proud of, and I know a lot of it is because she helps support me and like push me, and she gives me that advice that I need sometimes. And
That's amazing.
I try to do the same vice versa. When you have someone that you consider family, the way I consider Juge family, and
we've been through a lot together too. Like I know that we've only known each other for like 6 years, but like that has been pivotal parts of our life. That I've been there for her and she's been there for me. So we've grown. You can't not be family. Do you know what I'm saying? Like whether we live together or not, like our lives will or work together or not, our lives will be interconnected. Which will always work together, but it's going to be interconnected just by our bond for the rest of our life.
Exactly.
Regardless. And that's the same with the people we surround ourselves with. Like you said, your friends. Like all of our friends are friends. Our family's family. Like everything about us. Like we
literally have the same friends. We have, like,
it's all like it's like we're so like we're such a unit.
Yes.
That we also like
so important.
We do things. We check in with each other. We're like, yo, do you want to like? She even the other week she was like, I'm kind of like feeling the Color Me Mine.
Yeah.
But we never did it because we're too busy. But like we just had like the thought, like we laugh and come up with ideas. Like, do you want to like go do something random just to get our minds off of it?
Which is fun, like and funny too. Like she loves Star Wars. You couldn't pay me to watch Star Wars. I love like murder mysteries and like murder books. Like she would never. So like there's like that's the thing. Even like our hair and stuff. Everyone's like who knows us well. They're like it's funny because when people see us, they're like oh my god like twins. And then when people who really know us, they're like
not at all.
It works perfectly. It's very yin and yang. Like literally like our features right now. This is not natural. The blonde. I literally look like her usually.
Yeah, that's the rule book on how to find a best friend.
True.
Well, honestly, it's been so fun getting to know you girls and sitting down.
Thank you for having us. It's been so fun.
Of course. Thank you girls so much. I'm so excited to see all the success that comes your way. Keep this energy. Like we said it to everybody yesterday too. It's my favorite part sitting down, especially when we're not like super close before. And then everybody leaves. I'm like, let's fucking go. I hope everybody wins. I hope everyone runs it.
Same, seriously.
Before we wrap up, any last things that you want people to look out for, or what's the best place to kind of stay connected and follow you guys on socials?
New music.
Yeah, we're Zella Music on Instagram.
Z3LLA Music, and then just Z3LLA on Spotify, all those social music DSP platforms.
Sick.
But I think just new music. We're really excited after this Why Should I #1, which will probably be out when this interview comes out. After that, we're just keeping the ball rolling. We have single after single after single of ours, and then like he said,
more shows,
features in between, but more shows too.
Yeah. We got a lot coming.
Let's go.
We're excited.
Can't wait to see you girls rip it again. Killer set today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for taking the time. And I know you girls.
We'll do it for in Vegas.
Yes, 100%. And when we come out to LA, yes, we'll definitely work on some stuff. After here, I'll send you music. Yes. And crush it today too.
Thank you so much.
These girls have like 5 different sets today, tomorrow, Saturday. They're bouncing all around Miami.
It's so fun though. We're so excited.
Oh my God, it's been the best.
Exactly. So again, if you guys are watching this, we're probably already past Miami. Make sure you go follow the girls on SoundCloud, on Spotify or on Instagram. Stay connected with them. Check out their music as well. Until next time, I'm Versus. You can follow the podcast on all our socials at Party Starter Radio. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, we're now officially on Spotify. So you guys can go check out your episodes there too.
Woo, go check them out.
Z3LLA, baby.
Z3LLA.
Let's go. The Zella girls right here. Have a great Miami. And until next time, peace out, everyone.